Hey, it's the wrap up 19. Johnny here. Good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. This is the Team Super Dad wrap up. It's our weekly wrap up. We all get to the end of the week and we're going like, is it really Friday? Is it really Friday? Oh my gosh, it is Friday. And as always, we have a little rundown of what's been going on this week. I've got to can't see my notes. Let's get rid of that. Cancel that. Open that. And literally about to hit December, which it means if you're any of our American crew, you have just had Thanksgiving. So happy holidays to you. My family over in Chicago. We are on Instagram Live, by the way, as well. My family over in Chicago. Bless them. Everybody's suddenly getting older, right? So they're all in different places. And some were at work, others were in lockdown, in quarantine back in Chicago. And the rest, I say the rest, I've got so many cousins in Chicago. But the in terms of Rob and Mary's gang, the rest were down in Chicago, in Florida in the sunshine. So that was definitely the best straw to draw there. That was definitely the best straw to draw there. So love to all our family in America. Like the whole principle of Thanksgiving, I love. I know it kind of goes back to the forefathers and I don't even know what it goes back to, but I'm pretty sure it goes back to the creation of America in some way, modern America in some way. But the idea of being thankful for getting your family together. There's no presents really. It's just people getting together. And I've been lucky enough to spend a couple of Thanksgivings over there. And it really is. It's like Christmas dinner, except without the presents. And it does kick off the whole holiday season. So if you're in anywhere, well, it doesn't have to be sunshiny. The Christmas trees go up, the snow is presented, the shops start to go mental, and that's where Black Friday and Cyber Monday all comes from. So crazy that we can't necessarily be with the people that we love as much as we would like to be at this time. So sending out my love to all my family in different places around the world. This has been, as always, a crazy week. Where is my little list here of stuff? So yeah, and people keep dying, right? I mean, I know if your family or your community's been hit by any deaths from corona, then that's pretty sad. But people are dying all the time, right? It's the number of deaths of corona compared to some other illnesses aren't really that much to get too worried about. But that's another story altogether. Put your mask on, keep your hands clean, and we should all be all right, vaccine or otherwise. But if you're in any way a fan of soccer or football, we lost Ray Clemence, famous England goalkeeper, Liverpool and Tottenham goalkeeper, and we lost Diego Maradona. Now, you don't have to be too much of a football fan, soccer fan, to know who Diego Maradona was. It's a bit like saying Michael Jordan. You know, people should have an idea of that name, even if they didn't know quite what an amazing player he was. So, you know, when someone like Diego Maradona dies and you get all the stories coming out of where he came from and what kind of a person he was, and there's the everyday human in us all who comes from our background, who comes from a poor background. Obviously, he's Argentinian, of course, but the city, I've forgot. Anyway, comes from South Argentina, right? The poorer. It comes from the they call it the ghetto of Buenos Aires. Is that the city? Anyway, they're talking about where he came from Argentina, and so he always had an eye out for the underdog, for the poor guy, and which apparently is part of how he ended up in Napoli, or how he became such an icon and a cultural icon in Napoli, because it's southern part of Italy is actually the poorer part of Italy. Napoli's not one of the big names in Italian football historically, and so when he goes there and he wins 2 league titles and makes the team a force to be reckoned with, all around the time when Channel 4, which was a small TV station in the UK at the time, they used to play Italian football on a Sunday. So Go Lazio was the famous part of the theme tune. So, and one of my earliest memories of watching football was the 1986 World Cup. with Gary Lineker scoring the goals, and he started this tournament with his hand in a cast, and of course the Terry Butcher blood head injury and the blood thing around his head, and then of course the Diego Maradona hand of God, which was an illegal goal clearly, but then he followed that up with one of the greatest goals in history, if certainly not if in World Cup history. So you've got someone like that dying, and one of my heroes of my sort of soccer fandom is Ozzy Ardiles, who played for Tottenham when we first started getting taken there, and he was on the radio yesterday talking about Diego Maradona, and he literally was crying. He was crying, and that's when you realize that these famous people have an impact on so many levels, sharing their talents with the world, but also being a friend, a brother, a dad, you know, just in normal everyday ways. They brush their teeth, they take a dump, they spill their coffee, you know, like they're just normal people, right? We're just normal people. And we have to remember that we can all create a legacy. We can all in our lives, whether we have got God-given talents to be the best footballer on the planet, or whether we can just be the best dad to our kids in our own little family, that is our opportunity. That is our legacy. And so I took that really to heart this week. You know, my boy, he had his exams. He's an 11+ exam. It's an entrance exam in UK schools, and he took his back in October, and we got the results this week, and he missed out by 8 points. And he worked so hard, and a degree of pressure from myself, of course, but you know, he decided from the outset that he wanted to do it. We took him around the schools. They are the best schools in this area, and you know, if you're on a street and there's a 5-star hotel, a 4-star hotel, a 3-star hotel, whatever other star hotels, you're going to look to the 5-star hotel and be like, I think I really would rather stay there. Thank you very much. And that is the opportunity provided by these entrance exams. And his English was the tricky thing. It was probably going to be what let him down. And it played out that way. But rather than that be a big slight on him, you know, it was a real opportunity, because he saw what it took to get so close. To miss it by eight marks is a narrow margin, but his English mark was you know, a little bit of a way off the pass mark. So, but he also got to experience what it takes to do a test, to study for a test, to go beyond his natural skill set or what he was capable of at the time. And it's also like a free hit in this test. If you don't pass it, you just go to different schools. You know, in other exams that are coming down the line, and when he's older, if you don't pass it, you have to redo the whole school year, right? So it is a free hit. It's an amazing experience. And what he learned from it, he will take into his next school, into his future school life. So I don't have any regrets about him doing it. And we said this from the beginning. What you learn from doing this will be beneficial, whatever the outcome. And you know, as listeners know, we're a separated family, we're a broken family, and so he was always up against it. He was always going to be if you got two people, it's two parents seemingly pulling in the opposite directions, then that is always going to be a challenge for your child, let alone being separated in the first place. And I know families that disagree on this subject, even in a marriage situation. So it's tough. And I just acknowledged him this week, hugged him, loved him, and put it down as a positive life experience. If anything, I've had to take something from it as well. I've had to learn something from it. Everything that I'm saying right now is about, it could be reflected back on me for work, for Team Superdad, for the contribution I make to others, for my own skills and abilities, and striving forward, taking on new skills, taking on new challenges, and not getting knocked over or sidetracked, derailed by results when they don't quite go my way. So whatever you're up to, enjoy the whole experience, enjoy the whole process, and don't let the outcome be the thing that either stops you from getting started or that disheartens you at the end because it wasn't the outcome that you desired. Quite often, I mean, they talk about this, you hear this quite a lot about how many home runs Babe Ruth didn't hit, or how many 3-point shots Michael Jordan didn't make across his career. And it's got to be the same for footballers and free kicks they take. I don't know, well, in other walks of life, gigs that famous rock stars played to 10 people, to 20 people, to a room of 50 people, to the night you turned up at the wrong venue, like all these things that went wrong on the way to playing Wembley or Madison Square Gardens. Like, what is the journey like? Overnight successes generally didn't happen overnight. So for me, I got next on my running order is about planning my work and working my plan. I'm a shocker, absolute shocker at organizing and structuring a plan. And on the self-expression and leadership program is a course I did at Landmark a long time ago. And they talk about plan your work your plan, plan your work your plan, start at the outcome, work your way back, get organized. I've got it in a spreadsheet now in Excel, color coded, things that I did, things that I didn't do, and just planning it out 5 weeks in advance it's like pulling teeth. It's an absolute living hell, right? And I share this with you because, as always, we're on a journey together, right? Anyone involved with Team Superdad is got to be realizing that there are people in the community who are smashing things like super fit, super wealthy, super in love, whatever thing is, right? We are Team Superdad, but we can't all be good at those things. And we just got to learn from each other, from the experts, from the mentors, and take on board, right? Well, how did you do that? What is it? When I get stuck like this, everything falls apart. What do you do? Well, I've got a morning routine for that, or I've got a mentor for that. I've got a Excel sheet for that. There's tips and tricks and habits and routines that we can all adopt from each other. So I would love to say I have got this nailed, but it's literally like pulling my teeth out to work this plan and plan this work. But it's happening. It's happening. Can I share it on screen? I probably can, but I'll get distracted whilst I'm doing that. But if you want to, tell you what, put in the messages, put in the comments. If you want a copy of my planner, then just put whatever hashtag planner in the comments, and I'll send you a copy of it. All these documents are in the Team Superdad group, so you can come and look for them in the files anyway. Next up. Oh, the night I met Ray Clemence. Yeah, I forgot to say actually, right? I met Ray Clemence. So he was the goalkeeper for Tottenham when my dad first started taking us to Tottenham, and you know, you don't realize how big sports stars are until you actually meet them, right? So I'm at an event, black tie do up in London. I'm working, and I got invited to go to this dinner and auction and just this whole football thing. And I'm walking through the backstage area, and Ray Clemence comes by, and I'm like, oh my gosh, hello, Ray. He shakes my hand. Because he's a goalkeeper, his hand was huge, absolutely huge. And I'm 6 foot, so he's towering above me. And you know, we had like a 2-minute conversation. I got a picture of myself with him somewhere, but it's an old picture, so it's a real picture. I haven't got a digital copy as it stands, and it's just a memory that sticks in my mind. I can't really say anything more than that about it, but sadly, he died of cancer this week, a long fight with cancer. And we've all know someone who's died of cancer. And as the older we get, we're probably going to lose a few more, but hang in there. And I tell you what I will say about death is many people, and you see it on Facebook, oh, my dad died today, 8 years ago. And I'm not going to take that away from them, right? If they're still mourning his death and they still miss him, then I totally understand that. But I spent a long time in my life upset about my mum dying. My life is the way it is because my mum died. I miss her. I don't know what I would do if only, those kind of things. And what I've come to realize is our parents, the spirit of our parents doesn't want us to miss them like that. They don't want us to be upset. They want to see us enjoying our life. And that's what we've got. We've got this time, this space on earth to make the most of it, to have some fun, to love a few people and to laugh with as many others as possible. And so if you do lose someone, of course you're going to miss them. Of course you're going to be upset, but as quick as possible, move into just the realms of celebrating their life and enjoying the idea that they're watching down on us, and just make them proud as often as possible. Work hard to make those that have gone before us proud. And that's what we're up to. That's what we're up to. And just finally, before I go, right, I'm wearing red. I'm wearing red. As a Tottenham fan, that's tricky. But if you listen to the podcast this week with Jo Baldwin Trott, she is a personal brand and connectivity specialist, a coach, a consultant, an awesome woman. And we were talking all about personal brand. So she was talking about guys that wear grey or white or pale blue, and just how bad that is. So apart from being a Tottenham fan, I kind of know that I think I look all right in red. I'm working out which colours I do look better in. So you normally just see me wearing black shirts for my live streams. And that's my kind of, I haven't really worked out a personal brand yet. Am I going to grow a beard or wear a baseball cap? I don't think so. I do need to shave my head as it goes. But yeah, I'm wearing red today. Won't be wearing red on any Tottenham day ever. And that is a fact. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening, then leave us a review over on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching, give us a like, give us a share. Remember, subscribe to notifications on YouTube. Just click the bell. And on Facebook, just go to where it says notifications, right? If you don't get the notifications, you don't know when we're going live. And if you don't know when we're going live, then you're going to miss all the good stuff. Loads happening. December's around the corner. Lots to get excited about. Get involved with the Create Focus Challenge and the Hero Academy, which is coming back round for new members in January. Don't miss it. Thanks so much for watching. Team Superdad out. Love y'all.